welcome back to course SOP Computing. So today's topic of our video is characteristics of SOP Computing. So in today we are going to discuss about what are the different characteristics of a SOP Computing. Already we understand what is SOP Computing, what kind of problem we can solve with the help of SOP Computing, what are the constituents elements. Now we understand the characteristics of SOP Computing. Now let's discuss all these things one by one. So there are various characteristics of SOP computing are there. We have listed over here. We'll discuss all these things one by one. Very first, human expertise. Now human expertise is one of the characteristics of a SOP computing, because we have seen that one of the constituent element of SOP computing is artificial neural network, and this artificial neural network is built based on the structure of human brain. So everywhere means in that case we are making use of a human expertise. Human expertise is required in case of a SOP computing. So in case of artificial neural network, we are trying to mimic human brain structure so as to process the information, and according to that you have to take a appropriate action. Again, we have seen that fuzzy logic help us for decision making. In our day-to-day life we need to make multiple decisions, so in that case you can make use of a fuzzy logic, because we have seen that conventional logic is not useful to deal with every situation. So in order to overcome that situation, what you require? Fuzzy logic. Fuzzy logic help us decision making. So human expertise is required in case of a SOP computing, and it is being mimicked by using ANN. Human brain structure is mimicked using ANN, whereas decision making ability is there in case of a fuzzy logic. Then the second characteristic is that it is biologically inspired computing model. Why it is called as a biologically inspired computing model? Just I discussed that it make use of artificial neural network, and artificial neural network is based on the structure of human brain. Then we make use of a genetic algorithm. Genetic algorithm is based on the Darwin's theory of evolution, that is survival of fittest. So in case of genetic algorithm, there are various terms are there. Genes is there, offspring is there, selection is there, mutation is there, crossovers is there. All these terms comes from the field of biology. So ANN is there, genetic algorithm is there. So we can say that SOP computing is biologically inspired computing model, because in case of ANN you can also constructing model, in case of genetic algorithm also you are doing this. So in that sense we are saying that it is biologically inspired computing model. Next is new optimization techniques. So various optimization techniques is being developed, because optimization play a very important role. Because we want that solution has to be optimized, and optimization can be done in terms of two things, either in terms of time or either in terms of resources. Okay, means we are constructing a solution, we want that it should be optimized. That means it should be either it should have time criteria or it should have resource criteria. Time criteria means what? It should complete the solution, it should find the solution within a specific period of time, means the within a less amount of time we will get a solution. Second thing is that it make use of a less number of resources. So in that sense we are saying that it is what? New optimization techniques are there. So one of the optimization technique is genetic algorithm. There are various derivative free optimization techniques are there that we are going to discuss in next video lecture. So derivative free optimization is there, derivative based optimization is there. So new optimization techniques are there in case of a SOP computing. The next one is numerical computation. Numerical computation means it involves a computation, it involves intensive computation, it involves formula, it involves calculation. So numeric values are there. If we see the structure of artificial neural network, then we have seen that it involves three types of layer: input layer, hidden layer, and the output layer. So it works on the phenomena of forward propagation and backward propagation. In case of input layer, we have seen that there is a input is there, and related to that there is a weight. So that input value is multiplied with a weight, then that computation is passed to hidden layer, where also you apply bias, then also you apply activation function, you will find some value, again that value is passed to next hidden layer, then again it passed to the output layer where it will check whether you are getting expected output, where your actual output and expected output is same or not. If it is not same, then you are going for backward propagation, where we are modifying the weights value of a weight. The value of a weight should varies between 0 and 1. So in that sense we are saying that it is numerical computation based, means computation is involved in case of this soft computing, especially in case of artificial neural network. Even in case of fuzzy logic, later on we discuss about how to solve a numerical based on fuzzy logic operations. So there also you see numerical computation. Then new application domain. Soft computing you can apply, we already discussed what are the applications of soft computing. So there we have seen that soft computing have multiple application. It is being applied in the medical field, it is being applied in the financial domain, it can be applied in a stock market, it can be applied in, again you can say in cause of population. Means there are multiple domains are there where you can apply soft computing, because soft computing is based on the fuzzy logic. We have seen that traditionally we are using conventional logic. Conventional logic is not useful every time to solve various problems, so there you can use a soft computing which is based on the fuzzy logic, and fuzzy logic is a multi-value logic. The next characteristic is it is a model free learning. What do you mean by model free learning? In the previous videos we discussed about that soft computing is useful where you require that it's very means you can solve a particular problem using soft computing where it's very difficult to construct a model. So for that purpose also you can make use of a soft computing. So in case of a soft computing, there is an ability to construct a model using only target system sample data. This is what an important thing. In this case we are not developing a generalized model, but we are developing a target specific model. Just take a simple example. Suppose I want to perform spam classification. So in case of a spam classification, I need to concentrate only on spam mail and not spam mail. So according to that, what I will do, I will just construct a model. I will train that model for identifying the spam, what are the characteristics of a spam and what are the characteristics of non-spam mail. So I am focusing on this. So in that sense we are saying that it is here model is constructed only on target system sample data. So in that sense we are saying that it is a model free learning. Then intensive computation, just I talk about numerical computation, that soft computing involves numerical computation, but here we are saying that it involves intensive computation. Intensive computation means very high level computation, so it's totally depend on complexity of a problem. I told you that artificial intelligence is a very broad domain under which there is a concept of machine learning. Machine learning aim is to make a system which can learn by its own without human computer intervention. So after that machine learning there will be a deep learning. So always there is a confusion when to use machine learning concept, when to use deep learning concept. So concept is very simple. When your task is very much complex, at that time you cannot apply machine learning techniques, at that time you have to apply deep learning techniques. So deep learning techniques involve more computation, as we have seen ANN. See, ANN is a base, artificial neural network is a base for machine learning also, as well as for deep learning also. So in that case what change will be there? Number of hidden layer play very important role. In case of machine learning you can say that computation is less, but suppose your task is very much complex, at that time you cannot make use of machine learning, there you need to apply deep learning. In case of deep learning, number of hidden layers are more. Just like that, suppose you want to convey a particular topic, okay, means I want to teach a particular student a Java, okay. So in case of Java, core Java is there, advanced Java is there. So if you want to give only miss if that particular student want to perform a simple project, so he or she can learn core Java, but want to develop a very realistic application, very high end application. So in that case, he or she has to learn the advanced Java. So in that case, he or she need to undergo very intensive training. So in order to learn advanced Java, you require more time. In order to learn core Java, relatively you take a less amount of time. So in that sense, we are saying that in case of soft computing, intensive computations are there. If the number of hidden layers are more, in case of artificial neural network, obviously more calculation will be there. It will take more time, because if you see if you maybe you heard about convolutional neural network, you may heard about a recurrent neural network. So in case of convolutional neural network, input layer, hidden layer and output layers are there. So from application to application, number of hidden layer is going to be vary, number of use of different activation function is going to be vary. So it involves intensive computation. Now the next characteristics is, we can say that it is a fault tolerance. So in what sense we are saying that soft computing is a fault tolerant, have the feature of fault tolerance? Fault tolerance means what? Though there is a failure of any entity, the work should not get stopped, work must go on. So whether it is possible in case of soft computing, suppose it is possible, how it is possible? The thing is very simple. In case of soft computing, you will see parallel architecture. Now in order to demonstrate this, I will explain with example. We have seen artificial neural network, and I told you that artificial neural network is totally based on the concept of human brain. In case of a human brain, millions and billions of neurons are there, and all these neurons are connected with each other. Suppose just imagine a situation, one neuron gets failed. So whether your brain completely gets failed? No, it's not happening, because in your brain millions and billions of neurons are there, and all these neurons are connected with each other. Failure of one neuron doesn't affect the ability of a human brain to take a appropriate action, because instead of that neuron, other neurons are working. So in that sense, we are saying that soft computing is fault tolerant. That means failure of one neuron doesn't affect the overall architecture. Okay, that is a thing. Again, in case of artificial neural network, node is there, that neuron is called a node. Failure of one node doesn't affect the overall architecture, but still that architecture works. Next is it is goal driven. Okay, why we are saying that it is a goal driven? Because in this case, we always try to move from current state to goal state. Okay, current state to goal state means what? We just take a simple example of optimization problem. In case of optimization problem in the search space means what? Particular area where your solution may exist. We have taken the example of traveling salesman problem. So for traveling salesman problem, n number of solution already exist, but you need to find a optimal solution, and in order to find optimal solution, you need to move from current state to the goal state. Okay, because in the universe, in case of a search space, a number of solutions already exist, but you need to find optimal solution. So for that purpose, you need to move from current state to the goal state. That means our goal is what? To find optimal solution. In case of traveling salesman problem, I want to find a cheapest path, means the cost of that path should be very less. Okay, so in that sense, we are saying that it is a goal driven, because in this case it involves a path from current state to the goal state, or you can say solution state, where you are finding the exact solution for the problem. And the last characteristics of soft computing is real world application. I already discussed about this, that soft computing is having a number of real world application, because it is beneficial over conventional logic, because we have seen that soft computing can be used to solve various real world problems. Simple example is that suppose somebody asks you whether there will be rain today or not. So in order to give answer of that question, you may use yes or no. But if somebody asks you what is the speed of the car, so for that purpose you cannot make use of a conventional logic, so you require a fuzzy logic, and soft computing is based on fuzzy logic. So soft computing have numerous real world application. that we have already discussed. So I hope you understand what are the different SOP computing characteristics. Thank you.